you are.
Welcome to the Cinematic Void podcast. Cinematic Void is a cult film series that hosts screenings in the Los Angeles area as well as virtually. I'm your host, Jim Branscombe, and joining me as always is...
Hey, what's up? It's Nick Vance, Paramount Futures on Letterboxd. You can find Cinematic Void on the World Wide Web at cinematicvoid.com, as well as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all major podcast platforms.
As well as Patreon and Blue Sky and Threads and whatever other dumb shit's out there for the social medias. And of course, Letterboxd, which is the good social media. It's the only social media we actually endorse is Letterboxd. So it is that time of year again, the end of the year, and it's what we do every year, even though you complain and bitch and begrudgingly do this every year, which is the favorites. And we've kind of mixed it up the last couple years, I think, where we just, we used to alternate, like I do 5 Blu-rays, you do 5 records, but now we just talk about all of our favorite media that we consumed for any given year, and this year happens to be 2024. So how are we going to start?
Are you going to give them a rundown of this is how we did it in 2021, and this is, what does that have to do with that?
It's called context, you fuck.
All right, my 4-star rating. Well, when I say 4-star, it means this. When
it's called
3-star, it means this.
All right, motherfucker. No, we're not going to do this right off the bat. I'm looking at a fucking table full of records and Blu-rays.
60 records.
Yeah, because you're like, bring some physical media over, Jim. So
yeah, dude.
So it could be show and tell, because we don't actually
just turn all the lights off. Can you turn the lights back on?
She's fucking crazy.
This is show and tell.
Yeah, it is. It's show and tell for you and I because there's no video. God damn, now I got to turn the lights on. You didn't think this through.
Excuse me.
And now you're also trapped in here. So now I have to go through these records and hand them to you as we're going through them.
It's hilarious.
Is there any given order to any of this?
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't know. What do you want to start with? Where do we start?
I don't.
Well,
I don't want to start.
So I will start.
You always make me start. I'm not familiar with the format.
Shut the fuck up. You're just gonna make this fucking difficult. So
okay, can you start? Start what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, where do we start with this fucking pile of shit on this fucking table here? Is where I'm getting at.
I don't want to talk about any of it because I just heard the new E-Town Concrete song. That's right.
What is that thing called? It's fucking Drones for Xmas.
Jesus Christ.
E-Town dropping the best song of 2024 right at Christmas time. It's the true gift of Jesus, I guess, which is a song about
like an AI cover art. I'm pretty sure the whole song was written by AI, if I'm being honest.
Well, Ant Dog was the guy that who did the fucking AI rapper that got in trouble, right?
Oh, I'm well aware.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you're the one who told me so. But yeah, this cover looks like clearly AI.
It's okay. They released a legitimate song earlier in the year that was really good, so it's fine.
I guess they're trying to be topical because I guess for those you don't know, there's in New Jersey, there's some unidentified.
For those of you who missed it,
for those of you who aren't up on current events or just garbage current events, I guess there's some drones that were very large flying over Jersey, and the government's like, don't know what they are, stay away from them. So E-Town came with the only solution, which is shoot at them.
Mm-hmm. Which
seems reasonable, what you do for an unidentified flying object. Actually, they don't call them UFOs. They call them something else now.
The UAP?
UAP? It doesn't have the same ring. I mean, maybe it's just years of watching X-Files as a kid. I'm just going to still call them UFOs. I mean, he calls them the song. He also rhymes Cyclops with Psyop. So, well, that's going to wrap up this episode.
All right, there it is.
No, we got other things to talk about.
All right, yeah, number 2.
Number 2. Well, there's no numbers. This just seems to be fucking free form. So I guess because you don't want to address these fucking 60 records that are sitting on the table and your 3 Blu-rays, I'll go first.
Yeah, there were a couple
There were a couple.
There were a small handful of Criterion Blu-rays that came out, or excuse me, 4Ks that came out this year that I grabbed.
Let's see what you got here. Since I'm the grabber here, you got Peeping Tom. This is a new reissue of it. You want to talk about this?
That's right. We got Michael Powell, Peeping Tom. Look at the cover art, immaculate, incredible, great stuff. Look at that book, incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
this is a podcast.
This is a podcast.
Have a look at that book. Have a look. See. Yeah. No. It's just a beautiful, stunning. I'm sorry, I got nothing.
Let's see.
I actually rewatched that a day or two ago, and yeah, it holds up. And I actually have the Criterion Laserdisc, and this does actually it doesn't contain the essay from the original Laserdisc, but it does have the
commentary.
The commentary by the person that wrote and the same commentary that's on the original Laserdisc is on the new version.
Yeah, the one with Michael Powell, Martin Scorsese, and I think Thelma Shoemaker's on it.
Then I also grabbed Gummo.
Yep. Here, I'll hand you that. What do you guys?
Gummo.
It's Gummo.
Gummo. What do you want? Gummo in 4K. I think it's 4K, right?
It's 4K.
Hilarious. Love it.
Hilarious 4K.
And then we got Happiness, of course. So I grabbed all the important stuff this year from Criterion. Still collecting. Yeah, I see your Criterion stack over there. I actually got all three of these this year too. Nice.
I didn't realize Peeping Tom. I guess did the Peeping Tom come out this year?
Pretty fucking recent, I think.
Because I mean, I had the old the original DVD of it, and I know the Blu-ray or 4K, whatever, just blows that away. I don't know. I had an inkling to watch Peeping Tom earlier this year, and I was just like, I'm just gonna grab the fucking Blu-ray, and it's good stuff. I actually grabbed all. I think I already said I grabbed all three of these, and I hadn't watched Happiness in years, and I used to joke that every time I watched it, it took 2 years off my life just because of how fucked that movie is.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and it didn't take the 2 years off. It is really enjoyable, and it's kind of nice to watch a movie that there ain't no way in fuck is ever going to be made again. Who's going to give them? I mean, that's an insane cast.
Truly.
It's an insane premise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess the same could be said for Gummo. It's who's going to fund that now? I mean, Harmony Korine's got to basically just make fucking night vision, predator vision movies.
True. He's got to.
And
somebody's got to.
Well, someone does. And then play it at the strip club.
Yeah.
What was it called? Aggro Drift?
Yes.
Have you seen that?
I did, actually, yeah. One of the times we screened it, I just went down and watched it.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet.
Huh. It probably came out last year, huh?
I think it did come out last year. Yeah. I don't know. I want to say when I rewatched Gummo on that Criterion disc, I was not the biggest Gummo fan. I loved the soundtrack when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't really like the movie, and when I watched it, I kind of appreciated and liked it.
Nice.
So it's, it was a good year. It's a good weird batch of Criterions.
It really was. Yeah, so I kind of made a point to grab all three of these on the day they came out, And I guess maybe I slowed down my Blu-ray consumption this year, but
and now you're back into
kind of picked up the records again. But I don't know. I just haven't watched a ton of stuff this year, so
I was looking at Letterboxd, and I think I'm about 100 shy where I was last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think my biggest year was maybe 2022, where I maybe logged 500 movies. And last year, I think I did 450, and I think I'm just shy of 350. So I might get there, but I don't know. I'm just watching less stuff. I mean, I feel like I'm watching more stuff in the theater than I've ever had. I mean, I pretty much sat through every Void screening that I did this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 50 right there. I guess I can talk about my Blu-ray since you talked about it. So up first on the pile is a movie called Heavenly Bodies. It's a Canucksploitation movie about, I think I talked about it on the podcast when I got it. It's Fun City Editions put it out. It's got a nice fancy slipcover that is now sold out. But I don't know. This was one of my favorite, just kind of goofy. It's about aerobics instructor, or like what do they call it? Like, is it aerobics? Is that what I want to work? It's like, like a fitness trainer or whatever, kind of like has a gym, and they're about to lose it to like the big corporate gym, so they have a big like aerobics off to save the gym. There's like a banger of a song by Bonnie Pointer or the Pointer Sisters in this movie. It's one of my just favorite like kind of comfort like Canadian weird exploitation flash dance ripoffs. New release looks stunning. Slipcover's fun. I mean, it's cardboard.
Cool. It sounds like it's in the same genre as like Rad or Karate Kid or that sort of thing.
It is, but it's it's rated R. So you
sick.
So you get nudity and swearing and stuff like that.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I mean, in Canada, they just went for it.
Hell yeah.
I'll pass it over so you can.
Looks sick.
Now I'm gonna talk about the one I forgot to bring over here because like when I had to go back to my apartment and get stuff after like you should bring some stuff. So the one I forgot to bring with me is the Case of the Bloody Iris, which Celluloid Dreams had put out on 4K and Blu-ray, and it's a fucking spectacular release. That movie looks stunning, and I'll just plug it because this will be out before the screening. It's going to be that 4K restoration is playing as a Cinematic Void screening at the Frida on January 17th, along with another release that forthcoming from Celluloid Dreams of Short Night of Glass Dolls.
Okay.
But Case of Bloody Iris is their first Blu-ray release, and like it's a stacked release. It's fucking beautiful. Like it came with lobby cards or reproductions of the lobby cards that went out with the film. So I don't know. It's Edwidge Fenwick and George Hilton in a movie with basically the team behind like almost all the great Sergio Martino movies, just not directed by Sergio Martino. Okay. This one I meant to put on my list and I forgot, but I saw it on my shelf, so I went and grabbed it. It is Out There Halloween Mega Tape, which is the sequel to the WNUF Halloween special directed by Chris LaMartina. This one comes in like a fake like VHS box, like the hard shell box.
Totally.
And like it's, I guess, the premise is it's from the Trader Tony's like Dungeon, which was like a bootleg tape company. Like if you ever bought bootleg VHS, there were tons of places like that would do like bootleg VHS. Usually not in the hard case. They would use the more like what is the slipcover once you get out of the hard case, which is just a bootleg like a regular VHS where they put the label on it.
Totally.
So I'll pass this along to you. So this was put out by Terror Vision and comes with a fake Trader Tony's Tape Dungeon catalog with a bunch of the fake, releases that would be in there. Yeah, it's so meta.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, little poster. What else is in here? Oh yeah, Missing Persons for Frank Stewart from the first movie. So yeah, this is a pretty solid release. I mean, for a movie that's like, supposed to be a 90s, like like an episode of a talk show from the 90s, and then like a Halloween special of like a sightings type show. Like, it's a pretty nice special edition. Also, shout out to Chris. And I'll be mentioning Chris in the star of the movie, his wife, Melissa LaMartina, a little bit later when I talk about some of my favorite screenings. Next one here was something that I was stoked the second I knew it was coming out, which was Looking for Mr. Goodbar, put out by Vinegar Syndrome. This is a fucking masterpiece.
Can I borrow this?
Yes, you can borrow it.
I plan to buy it as well, but
yeah, be careful. This is limited edition, but
okay.
No, yeah, I'll fucking kill you, motherfucker.
I'm so, I don't take care of anything.
Well, no, you take care of things. I'm just messing with you, but I will fucking kill you if there's a ding on that slipcover. No. But yeah, it's one of the best. It's Diane Keaton in a we don't need to talk about it. I think I talked about it when I got it and rewatched it. And I think I might have hinted at it or mentioned, but it is booked. So this is going to be part of my February Void slate in 2025 for the 9-year anniversary Cinematic Void, playing the Paramount 35mm print.
Oh, nice.
But stellar work from Vinegar Syndrome, as always. I should probably grab the other Vinegar Syndrome title here, which is, this is my other favorite release they put out this year, which is The Tenant. Another Paramount title because they have a little Paramount sub-license. The cover is fucking insane because
it's incredible, like die cut cover.
Die cut window open to a big Roman Polanski face.
Yep.
But say what you will about Polanski the person, Tenet's a fucking masterpiece.
Totally.
Rewatched it and Isabella Adjani is like, I feel like she gets enough recognition, but I think too much gets put on Possession.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, she's great in this, she's great in The Driver, she's great in fucking Nosferatu. Speaking of which, I gotta steal this from, like, Kevin Kelch, co-director Starry Eyes. He was talking about, like, the new Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers one, I guess Lily Rose Depp, or was it Rose Lily? I don't know. She's got 2 flowers in her name. Anyway, Johnny Depp's daughter that's in this movie and was also in that one HBO show produced by, was it fucking, The Weeknd?
Mm-hmm.
And the dude that did not Entourage. What is that fucking show that everyone cared?
Euphoria.
Yeah, I don't know any of this shit. But anyway, I guess Letterboxd had done an interview with her, and Kevin had brought it up, and she was talking about, like, yeah, I was really inspired by Isabella Johnny's, performance Possession. And Kevin's like, oh, unlike, Nosferatu, the movie you're in, which she was also in the 70s, the Herzog one. I was like, that is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
And also, I know I think you've already been on record, and we talked about this before recording, that Possession's no longer a film. It's just now a meme.
It's not a film, it's a movie.
It's a movie, yeah. I kind of,
Yeah.
if there's a way to gatekeep Possession back, because I don't know, man. I love Possession, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, I just feel like
nothing worse than when the ops like something you like.
Yeah, but no, it's gotten like filtered, and like I think they kind of bastardize what the movie actually is. Of course. And it's sad.
That's what the ops do.
That's what the ops do. They send fucking Anthony from E-Town to take care of them like they're a fucking drone or whatever. But Isabella Johnny's great in The Tenant. I guess I can't talk too much about Polanski because I guess what makes this one harder for some people to stomach, where you can kind of avoid it in like Repulsion or Cul-de-sac and most of Chinatown, except for like the 3 seconds he's in it for his little role. He's the star of this movie.
Yeah.
And your mileage will go as far as you willingness to see him on screen.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's part of his unofficial Apartment trilogy,
right,
with Repulsion, Rosemary's Baby, and this, and like, it starts out like maybe it's different than those, but then like there's the twist, which I don't want to spoil because we're not actually talking about, we're just talking about the physical media. Like, once that happens, it's like it all ties the room together.
Yeah.
But this is a fantastic release. Vinegar Syndrome has been knocking out with these Paramount titles. They also did Phase 4, which I haven't watched yet. They did The Keep, which everyone is like fucking coming themselves over. Mostly because they haven't actually seen The Keep, but as much as I love Manhunter and a lot of Michael Mann movies, The Keep is not great.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Vinegar Syndrome did a stellar job on it. I actually got a copy of the disc, and in case I have a medical emergency or need to get new brakes on my car or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little insurance plan, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it's that fancy slip cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because God forbid someone want to own something just for the movie.
No thanks.
Yeah. I mean, this is fucking cool.
Yeah. Why would I want to? Truly, why would I want to? Now that I've seen that, now that I've seen the cover of The Tenant from Vinegar Syndrome with the nice slipcase, why would I ever want a normal version of that? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, I get it, because I'm like, no, I just want the movie. But let's be real here.
Yeah,
I could have just got the movie, but I didn't.
Yeah. If I want to watch the movie, I'll just fucking watch it on Amazon Prime. I want it to look nice on my fucking shelf.
Yeah, but then like the problem with these these bigger things, like I don't know, man.
Yeah, it looks fucking amazing. It looks incredible. That would look so nice on my shelf.
Not compared to the other Blu-rays, and it's just like then I got to build bigger slipcovers for everything else I own.
Look, it would look so nice over there. Look at that.
Well, get your own copy.
I'm gonna.
I'm surprised you're not like, can I borrow this one too?
I'll get one.
All right. Well, yeah, I was getting looking.
I'm just waiting for that to come out.
Well, yeah, by January 1st, the Vinegar Syndrome store would be open, so you can get your own copy.
Can't wait.
Well, now you can at least watch it until then.
Can't wait 1 minute more.
Oh, there we go with the Civ reference. Next here is like, it's in a fancy slipcover, but one of my favorite exploitation movies ever made, Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, aka Night Warning.
Oh, nice.
Severin put it out. nice 4K Blu-ray release.
The poster, whatever, is like so. Yes, that is so recognizable that when I saw that, like, what's now the that's the cover, really, right?
Yeah.
Although it looks great, it's just the other thing is so iconic with the knife and the eye in it and all that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like, other than like it'd be like
it's cool that they left it on. It's cool that it's on the back then.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean,
Or is it on the when you
see-
pull it out?
see on the slip. Oh,
Oh wow.
it's the other cover. So like there's multiple covers to this.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, nice. That was cool.
No, but this is a great movie. Like Severin, probably consistency of like things coming out that like, there's a lot of Vinegar Syndrome stuff that comes out that I'm just like, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Severin's been pretty consistent. Like they also just put out that All That Haunts Volume 2, the full color box set, which I got one, but I gave it to Leslie for Christmas because she's gonna actively watch it, and for me, it's just gonna sit on a shelf and look pretty. And I'd rather the movies get watched because I'm not gonna get. I like all those movies, but I'm just being real with myself.
Yeah.
I'm not in a folk horror mood. The other Severin title I grabbed is their new Opera 4K.
Sick.
Fancy, like that's a fucking sick cover.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's a really wonderful fucking job on like the last great Argento film. I was recording pre-taped intros for the Coolidge before I came over here, and so I was doing the one about opera, and just realized that, man, I suck at doing fucking intros. How do I do it every week at Cinematic Void? I mean, I guess it's just like, just trying to have information and then just not stumbling. Like, actually, it's easier to do it live.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can uncommit from something like, never mind. Like, because you're doing it live, you're not trying to, like, take big swings and, like, try to talk about something and then just fucking mid-sentence realize you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about or saying.
Totally.
When you record, and I find this when I do all the YouTube stuff, like, I'll start going on a tangent, and I'm like, I can't do a fucking tangent. Also, you're not playing off the crowd and stuff like that.
Totally.
You're just, like, talking it loud in my apartment.
It's the 1 minute, as we were talking about before we were on mic, the old one-man podcast.
Yeah.
It's like, that's brutal, man.
I mean, as we're coming up on like 5 years of doing this fucking podcast in February and 9 years of Cinematic Void in total, like the original pitch for doing the podcast is like, you're going to record it and I was going to do it myself. And then like before we even did an episode, I was like, that's fucking insane. How the fuck am I going to talk? What the fuck am I going to talk about?
Hilarious.
And then it was like, hey, you just want to be in the podcast? You're like, sure. And then you didn't talk for like the first 60 episodes, but like,
hell yeah.
So
trying to get back to that.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back to like minimalist, just me rambling and just like no lifeline of fucking.
Just let you go off.
Shit. I mean, you pretty much do anyway. But then you have your tangents too, so it balances out. Do you got any new films that you saw this year that you give a fuck about?
I saw about 2.5 new films this year, man. There's definitely something I like snuck down and watched that I projected. What was that?
What was that? What?
This is just totally off the top of my dome, so like I don't remember. See No Evil, is that the new? Fuck, man, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I saw like 2 movies that came out this year. This is the real answer. Is just I didn't see anything this year. I saw like that new Alex Garland movie that I didn't really like.
What, Civil War? Is that what?
Yeah,
I
didn't see a
that.
single thing in the theater that came out this year. Not a single one.
I mean, I get it. You're projecting, so like the last.
Yeah, I should. I don't know. I think I'm gonna make a point. I think I'm gonna make it a point next year to see a few fucking try to regularly see new movies.
I end up seeing more, I think, new movies this year than I've ever had in a long time. And a lot of them I saw at the Vista, which is funny because I know we did a bunch of premiere. But like, there's a weird thing about when we do new movies. I just don't like.
I don't like to take someone else's seat.
Yeah, although
I'm so noble.
You're so noble. I mean, I did it for one thing, and it is the one exception.
Like, it's just how little I give a fuck about movies. I mean, don't give. I'm not. It's like I don't even like cinephiles. I should want to take their seat.
You should. You just like push someone out of the way. Excuse me, projectionist.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, get out of my fucking seat, dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the thing is because it's just,
But I should actually. What I mean though is that I should go to other theaters. I don't actually even. I don't mean
yeah,
like I want to. Yeah, like when I do see stuff, it's like I'm seeing stuff at work. Like I should go somewhere, dude.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of why like if it's new stuff, I want to go someplace else and see it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the sole fact, and like the Vista's pretty close. And
Yeah.
so that
It's
just
on
kind of
film. Works out.
So yeah, and I think at least 3 of these I saw in film, and there's a bunch of other things, but like these are the things I like the most. Actually, there's one more that I forgot that I just pulled up to make sure I talk about it. Nora, Sean Baker,
Mm-hmm.
probably my favorite film of the year. I think it's fucking terrific. He seems to be on the award stroll, so hopefully he's getting some.
Cool.
Cuckoo, which I know a lot of people weren't in love with, but I thought was fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, great premise, didn't take it seriously. Like, how you do just weird, fucking kind of artsy, but like insane movies, right?
Right on.
Really enjoyed that one. I saw The TV Glow, which is a movie I saw in a theater. I saw it at that shit Regal out in Alhambra where they played fucking like 2 hours of fucking ads before the movie went on. Like, I think it was like a 10:30. I feel like the movie didn't go on 11:30. I didn't get out of there until like 2 a.m. Insanity. But that was one of my favorite movies of the year.
Yeah.
And I still think about it. I've actually been tempted to buy the Blu-ray, which I think you can only buy direct from like A24.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll treat myself to that.
There you go.
Oddity, which was a horror movie I saw on Shudder that we talked about on the podcast. Like I think out of a lot of the newer horror movies, it's the one that like had a solid premise, stuck with it, kept it all together, and just was fucking solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that because like most of the other newer horror movies that everyone was just fucking whacking off about, like I had problems because they just weren't good. Like fundamentally they were flawed and just kind of annoying, like because they just didn't stick with their aesthetic. And for me, I think like if you have a premise and you have aesthetic, you need to stick with it. But if you're bending those rules, you have to do it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Oddity's pretty great. And the last thing or 2 more things I want to mention. I'm going to mention this other one before I talk about the last thing. Tim Kasher of Curse This Movie, who's watching that, saw Beyond Fest. I thought it was really terrific.
Cool.
Like a nice little twist on found footage and horror and like edgelord shit. Like really, really well done movie. And kudos to Tim because I think he was kind of nervous about like doing. I mean, Curse is a pretty decently big band.
Yeah.
But you're doing another art form, and I think he had made another movie previous to that hasn't come out. So like, I guess like put it all out there, and like I think he kind of nailed it. So I hope some things are coming with that movie because I thought it was really good.
Very cool.
And the last one, I just saw this on Christmas Day, which led into Christmas night because of how fucking long it is. The Brutalist.
Yeah.
Brady Corbett's new epic. I thought it was pretty goddamn terrific. Gorgeously shot. Like, just, it's really hard. I'm going to say this, this is why you should shoot on film. Because just the texture and what you can get out of it. Also, also to say, it's like you should have a good DP.
Yeah. Like,
not we'll shoot it all flat and fix it in post DP. Which I think is a bigger crime. Like, but just, I don't know. The thing that a lot of these movies had in common is they all looked fucking good. And like really nice. I mean, even something like Strange Darling, which I did not like that movie that much. I think the cinematography was great. So, I mean, I do. If people are going to shoot on film, I'm glad they're making it look good. And maybe that's my positive takeaway, even from some of the things I didn't like.
Yeah.
But, that's new movies for me. So I guess we're going to move to records in this giant pile of vinyl here. Where we start with these, Nick?
All right, let's take a beat. We're back.
We're back.
All right, so not I don't think any good music came out this year. I mean, I kind of feel that way. I mean, I'm lying, but like I mean, for one, I just haven't really paid attention this year, so I had to, for this dumbass podcast, I had to do a bunch of work the past like 2 weeks and listen to a bunch of music. I basically had to listen to a bunch of music in the past 2 weeks. I listened to a year's worth of music in the past 2 weeks, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, yeah. I mean, I mean,
Well, yeah.
I mean, I had to go back and figure out what came out this year because it's just like, if I'm going to be real, the record one of the records I listened to the most was one of my favorite records last year, which was that Incendiary record.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wow, that came out last year, not this year. But
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the music most of the music I listened to definitely this year didn't come out this year.
That's the thing, and I kind of agree with you to an extent that a lot of the music that came out this year, like, while good, I didn't feel like there was like a runaway record that grabbed me, and like it wasn't like the Koyo record last year or
Right.
like the Incendiary record, or like it just felt like a lot of records came and went, and just like I just, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When we were recording that grindcore project, I was going back and listening to very specific things, and it wasn't like new stuff.
Sure.
And I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of reissues and stuff, and we'll talk about it. But I mean, you got a stack there that you can, I guess, sort of talk about of new shit.
First up, I got this fucking Suburban Eyes record on Spartan Records. Suburban Eyes is I was trying not to talk. I was trying not to talk too much about like. I try not to put on my list like old shit. You know what I mean? I was trying to be like talk about new bands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is kind of my one exception in a way. But this is kind of a super group of dudes that were in like Christie Front Drive and Antarctica and Boys Life, and there's probably more. Just dudes from all those Midwest emo bands from the 90s. Suburban Eyes, and it's very much like a product of all of those things kind of put together, but kind of new sounding as well. It's just a good, like, just straight up rock record, you know? Good stuff. Mineral, members of Mineral.
Okay.
It's one of the Mineral guys. So just is kind of a super group of all that stuff. And then, next up we got All Under Heaven, the What Lies Ahead of Me record, came out early in the year on Sunday Drive Records. And yeah, I like this band a lot, and they just put out a few EPs and finally put out this LP this year, and I think it was very different than what I expected. I thought it was really interesting.
It was very post-punky, if I remember, because I listened to it when you sent it to me, and it was like during my big depressive spiral, and like it hit a lot, but like it's a record that, like, now that I see it, it's like, yeah, it was something I really liked this year, but like I think. No, it was a record that stuck with me, but I think just so much other shit came out, and just like, you know,
yeah.
I just felt, maybe.
Well, the thing is, like, I definitely thought of this band as being one of those kind of like shoegaze grunge sort of mashups. But then when this record came out, it was like way different than what I expected, and it was like way darker and slower, and it's kind of how a lot of those. Seems like a lot of those bands are kind of going in that direction, and I like it. It seems like everybody's maybe trying to grow up or something. But anyway, we'll more on that. So yeah, What Lies Ahead of Me. Great graphic design, by the way. It's this weird like clown, like circus, like amusement park.
Yeah, it looks like an amusement park thing, or a
boardwalk. Kind of like
a neon thing for like a haunted house or a fun house type of thing.
But it's just like the cover is like gray and pink. It looks great. Designed by, I believe, I forget the guy's name, but the guy that runs the label. But he does great design work as well for Sunday Drive Records. So there's that.
I mean, I think now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want to go back and listen to it with like.
It's a great record.
No, I think my mind state was maybe too much when that record came.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a depressing record.
Yeah, I think that's probably why like I kind of blocked it out for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I can go back and check that out. I definitely love that cover art. I think like it pops in a way that just like.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to explain because like it's not minimalist, but it is and it isn't. But it's just like it. You know what it looks like? It looks like a fucking record that came out in the 90s and like all the. It's like you know exactly what it is, but not really.
I'll tell you what it looks like is the Carvel. All right. So next up, also on Sunday Drive, is the Broken Head record, The Morning Ends. Another band that had a bunch of EPs and finally put out an LP this year, and it fucking rocks. It's basically, I was telling Jim off mic earlier, like kind of the same way that a lot of hardcore bands, they're like hardcore kids that are starting death metal bands these days, and this is kind of the version of that, but it's like hardcore kids playing like Britpop kind of stuff, but to great result. Like I catchy as hell. Yeah, great stuff, man. And I think they're from like New England-ish area, like maybe from Massachusetts or something. Yeah.
And
also, All Under Heaven played at Knucklehead.
what?
Or no. All Under Heaven played at... It's worse. The story gets worse.
Oh, it gets worse.
The story gets way worse. All Under Heaven played at Gold Diggers.
What? What?
Yeah, All Under Heaven played at Gold Diggers. I was probably working that night, but like,
Dude, if I had
I found out about it like the day after it happened.
Dude, no, I would have fucking went to that.
Yeah, dude.
I had no excuse to not go to that. God, fuck, man.
And then so Wishy, next up on my list.
Oh no, I'm still mad about this.
It gets. I hear you. It gets worse.
It gets worse.
It gets worse. Wishy is the next record I'm going to talk about. They put out this record called 777. They're from Indianapolis, and they're like a shoegazy sort of, but also like it's like shoegazy and twee, and then also, but then meets like, and I mean this as like the highest compliment, Third Eye Blind. Big Third Eye Blind thing going on this fucking record. I fucking love it.
I mean, this shit is catchy.
These guys played at Knucklehead on December 12th, and I found out about this today, and I'm so fucking pissed.
What?
Pissed, dude. I was probably off that night.
All right, I'm going to say something about both Gold Diggers and fucking Knucklehead. I never know what's playing. When there's something good that's playing, I don't know about it. Like, literally.
I hate having to like follow all these fucking bands on Instagram. I don't want to follow your band on Instagram. And I don't want to follow Knucklehead and Gold Diggers on Instagram. I just don't want. Look.
No, I don't.
Can you just follow them for me and just tell me when cool things are happening? I don't want to follow this bullshit. This Wishy record is fucking awesome, dude. I love it so much. If you haven't heard it yet, I
have not heard
highly
it yet.
recommend it.
Okay.
Great stuff. And it's on a label I've never heard of called Windspear. Yeah, just 10 songs, no duds, just like this record rocks, man. It's good stuff. And again, I hope you like Third Eye Blind.
No, I'm actually fine with Third Eye. It's better than Ben Folds, which I still don't know what they actually sound like, but
hell yeah. But we're almost done here as far as like my top 5 that was actually like a top 7.
Which was originally top 60.
Yeah. Fucking this Prize Horse record, I think also on Sunday Drive. No. Numerality zine. But yeah, this Prize Horse record fucking rules so much. They're a 3-piece from Minneapolis, and it's like, man, it's just different. It's like, yes, it's similar to all that kind of like All Under Heaven and Leaving Time and whatever the fuck else kind of bands. But at the same time, like something about this reminds me of like Codeine White Birch or Unwound, Leaves Turn Inside You, like the kind of just slow and fucked up and brooding and depressing.
The slowcore stuff.
Yeah, man, like low. If you haven't heard this record, I fucking highly recommend it. Prize Horse Undersound. Man, this shit fucking rocks. Or where is it? Prize Horse that played at Knucklehead. Like all these bands just played.
What?
And we missed all of them, dude.
I would have probably went to all these fucking shows.
I'm saying, I know I hate live music, but like I would have loved to seen Prize Horse.
There's 2 venues that I have no neither of us have a fucking excuse to not go to. It's Knucklehead and fucking Gold Diggers.
Yeah, not that I live anywhere near either of those places.
No, we do, but not at all. We're nowhere near. But like,
but it's convenient.
It's convenient. But like, it makes me mad because Gold Diggers actually has good fucking sound.
Yeah. I enjoy a night at Knucklehead. And then lastly, sort of, although I have like 30 other records to talk about that maybe we'll get into a little bit. But Entropy, Dharmakaya is probably my number one of the year. Of course, it's the one that I do a podcast, or I've been actively doing a podcast with the singer of Entropy, just talking about the record. So I've definitely listened to it quite a bit, and I mean, it's ruled from day one since I heard it. But man, it's just a really great record that like just does everything that I like. And yeah, like I say, I like a lot of records that came out this year. But I haven't listened to a ton of like other genres. Like there are like rap records I liked and metal records I liked, and I even have. Actually, didn't talk about any records that I didn't actively have in front of me, but there are actually other records that I've ordered. That you know what I mean? There's stuff that just like didn't come in the mail yet that are like also on my list of like tons of shit that I've liked this year.
I think this year, at least music wise, it's like there's a ton of music that came out. And I think maybe part of it's the streaming age of like how I think you actually buying the records, and the reason why you did is because then it means something more.
I think so.
Where I think like streaming
it's definitely committing to it for
Yeah.
sure, to say the least. It's quite a commitment to fucking buy all these records, but kind of stupid.
I mean,
It felt good. Felt good at the time.
Felt good. I mean, you're talking. I mean,
no, this is fun.
Yeah,
I
did a whole we did a whole episode about like I'm not buying as many Blu-rays, and I bought less than I ever have, so I'm very selective in what I get.
And I think that is kind of it is kind of part of it though. Like I definitely, on one hand, I don't go like out like record shopping as much as I used to.
No, you know what? Because most of the time when I go record shopping, the only time I find stuff I really, really want, is not in LA. It's at record stores of other places. Like,
yeah, totally.
Like when I was in Austin and I found La Revancha, the fucking Spaz record, like not the red vinyl original press, but like still a Sound Pollution pressing of it,
right?
Like, and it was like $30.
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking happy. And I found a couple other things. I found an Unsane picture disc and things like that. Like, because I go to record stores here, it's like it's very far and few between that I find things that like, especially the records that I sold years ago that I really regret selling.
Yeah.
Like, I went to, what's the fucking what am I blanking on? It's they have a venue. It's a venue.
Permanent.
Yeah, Permanent. Thank you. Went to Permanent like maybe a couple years, at least over a year ago, for Jonah's birthday, and I found the first Blackheart Procession record, One, which like hadn't been reissued. All the Touch and Go ones were reissued, but like One hadn't been because it was a different label.
Oh wow!
So I mean, probably overpaid for it, but like it was nice to get it again.
Yeah.
I mean, but like that's an essential record for me. Like that means something. You know?
Agreed.
Do you want to talk about some of the reissues you got?
Yeah.
Here, I can grab them here. It's a stack. Now, some of these we were talking about that I hadn't actually heard, and I'm like now very curious about.
Yeah, like this Christ record is it's a reissue, but only in the sense that it's like kind of first time on vinyl. I think it's just a combination of two CDs. They came out in the 90s, and it's like members of I Hate You and other Philadelphia bands that were like kind of tougher, hardcore bands, straight edge bands, and them doing kind of like a more of a emo kind of thing. It's a little metalcore, but it's more Sunny Day Real Estate than metalcore. But like it's like Sunny Day Real Estate with like breakdown parts, I guess is the best way to put it. But great stuff. I mean, maybe a little corny and of its time. I don't know. I mean, sorry, but it's just truth of it.
But it's of our time.
But it's sick. Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it just because you were even if you like weren't actively listening to this at the time, you were still there.
I was still there, and like it sounds like a million things that I did listen to.
It's up your alley. It's similar to Shoulder and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then we got Chokebore, Black, that was just reissued. I forget the name of the label because I don't actually have that reissue. I just spent a lot of money on the
An
original
original.
version, like pretty recently. Like in fact, so much so that I think that sometimes when I spend a bunch of money on an original version of something, that's when it gets reissued. So you can thank me, motherfucker.
Well, I am thanking you because I will buy this reissue.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually gone and looked at this record on
This
Disc.
is one of the greatest like
Oh, it's
sad slowcore records
it-
of all time.
yeah. It's like there's other Chokebore records like I like, but I don't love. This
They're
record I
fine, but
that
this one is, man.
because it's so like, oh, fucking sunshine. What is it? Sunshine of my life. Jesus
These
Christ.
record's fucked up, man.
Like I just checked, like, because that was the Chokebore record that wasn't available on streaming, and now it is. And
Yeah.
like, goddamn, dude,
Yep.
I'm gonna go buy this reissue vinyl. I'll pay $30 instead of whatever you paid for this original.
Hell yeah.
But it's I don't know, I don't know if it's hard. I can't really do top tens, and I know probably when we do the episode 100, we're gonna talk about records that mean a lot and all that kind of stuff. But like in a emotional top 10, as I say right now, this record's on there.
Yeah.
And by top 10, I mean like top, like probably really 100 records or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's top tier. It's like a record that really has stuck with me and has meant something and is just with me forever.
Yeah.
So-
Totally. Yeah.
so I'm glad-
that one's definitely never left the playlist, you know?
No. And now I can add it to other playlists because
It's actually on streaming.
yeah.
Next up, we got Riverside 1. I think I talked about this when it initially came out. They came out in 1992 originally, and was now just finally put out on vinyl. I think it was only out on CD at the time. And it was like on Sire or Warner, Rhino, like all those, like whatever. It's all licensed, the kind of the same thing. But just great dream pop from the 90s. Really good stuff. Next up, I think I talked about this on the last episode.
did.
Is Los Vampiros, Less Than a Feeling. Adam Age just reissued this recently. I don't have that reissue. I just have the original version on Selfless Records. This is most of the members of Dag Nasty playing Dag Nasty style melodic hardcore. They cover ABBA and do a couple other weird things, and it's a weird record, but the catchy songs are so catchy, and it's awesome. And there's at least on the original version, there's a naked child smearing shit all over a wall. But that's not what the new version looks like. But anyway, great record, and it's on streaming now as well. All right, next up we got Fireside, Uomini Denor. I don't know how to say it. This is truly one of my favorite records of all time. It came out in the late 90s, and this is just a band from Sweden that played like quicksand style post-hardcore. But when this record came out, they had kind of changed it up and got like super experimental with it, and to like just amazing results. Like this is a perfect record to me. Just one of my absolute favorite records of the 90s, and it just got reissued on Star Tracks, who also did it originally. Yeah, I love Fireside. I love this band. I'm so glad this exists. Next up, Farside, not Fireside. Farside, the Monroe Doctrine. All the Farside records are great. Farside from Orange County, California. They were on Revelation Records, and it's classic stuff. Just, great like melodic rock from the 90s,
Yeah, I always forget, like, well, I don't always forget, but it's like sometimes when you think Revelation, you always think all the hardcore stuff, but they put out a lot of like,
Yeah. Texas
rock.
is the Reason,
Yeah,
Farside.
like
all that
rock, post-rock, emo, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
stuff. Next up, we got Antarctica, also members of Christie Front Drive, playing like weird, like kind of New Order, dancey stuff. The Cure, New Order, Ride, a little shoegazy. But this stuff finally came out on vinyl this year. Also came out in like the early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s, I think originally. Great stuff. It's an LP and an EP. Highly recommended. And then lastly, for the reissues, is the All Live Plus One record, which I'm so stoked is finally out on vinyl. And the plus one is actually the Descendants, and this does have a Descendants record included. Although I don't care, you can have my Descendants record. I'm just here for the all record, and this is just especially notable because there are photos of me inside it, hanging out at Bill Stevenson's house, the drummer of All, and the drummer of Black Flag, and Descendants, and blah blah blah. Some friends and I drove out. So this is a live record by All. It was recorded in, I think, 2001. And yeah, March 30th and 31st, 2001 in Fort Collins, Colorado. And me and my buddies, Tony and Mike Thompson and Tony Pence, who we've definitely talked about on here, the three of us drove out to Colorado and went to these live shows that they were recording for this record. And so here it is, finally out on vinyl. It's been out on CD for, obviously 23 years or whatever.
Who put it out on vinyl? Was it Epitaph?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right? Yes, Epitaph. And yeah, that's it. Fucking A.
Yeah, that's all your reissues.
I do have a couple other records right here that are also on the list. Dude.
Uh-oh.
Real quick, the new Ryan Adams record, Black Hole, is awesome, and it's the best thing he's done in years. And the cover is like one of those. It's like those memes where it's a burger and it's like squint your eyes, and then it's like a picture of Hitler. you know, but it's like him in the skyline here. No,
yeah, it is him. Yeah,
that is that thing. And then Ann Blair is it's Brian St. Pierre, who was the drummer for Hum, who passed away recently. It's his last recording that he was on, and it's dudes from Mock Orange, and just really good, kind of similar to like Failure or Shiner, Jawbox, that sort of thing. Great record. Also highly recommended. Mo Dottie, LA shoegaze band, new record called Opaque, highly recommended. Leaving Time, also on Sunday Drive Records, kind of similar to All Under Heaven and that stuff. Didn't quite make the top 5 list or whatever, but Angel in the Sand, great record. Check it out. And then my pick for maybe metal record of the year is the Departure Chandelier. It's a black metal record that came out on Nuclear War Now, and it's like members of Purient and Akitsa and stuff like that. It's just great black metal. There you go. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of out of touch with the black metal right now.
There's that Blood Incantation record came out this year too. I think I mentioned that earlier, but some wild stuff. I don't know if you heard.
I haven't really dug into it. I mean, I do got a metal pick, which I'll get to.
Nice.
All right, so I did bring over some records with me, not as much as you because I didn't buy as much vinyl, but I did pre-order this. I actually got the EP that came out maybe the year before this one. I forgot the one with that Dark Blue, which is a fucking great song. One Step Closer, All You Embrace. I mean, I think I listened to this record more than I realized. I went back and looked at Last FM. I was like, God damn, I did listen to it. And I've been re-listening to it, and it's solid.
Is it a full length?
It's a full length.
Cool.
Put out by Run for Cover Records, where the new Cursive also came out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim. I've given him 2 shout outs. I like that Cursive record a lot too, I should mention. But this record came out at a time the singles were dropping, and when I was going through shit, it was it kind of hit a little too hard, some of the stuff lyrically, but it stayed with me, and it just I don't know. I mean, I pre-ordered it, and I love this band. I can't wear any of their merch because it's just I can't do 90s. How do you describe that aesthetic?
Their logo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely very 90s rollerblade company.
Yeah, I as much as I love this band, I will never probably wear a shirt by them.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, it's just I appreciate the music. I can't get with the clothing aesthetic of it. They also did some music videos for I think they did 3 for this record.
Oh, nice.
And they were I think they were co-directing them all, and they're all pretty interesting. So cool. It's a solid record. I kind of wish I saw them play, but I think when they came here it was through Sound and Fury, and I ain't going to a live festival. Let's be fucking real. No thanks to that. Another new record, is a band, I mentioned this a little bit, which is the Marshmallow Ghost. This is Ghoulish Games for a Frightful Halloween. Most of the other stuff is kind of the way I would describe it is haunted house record, but
okay.
With some lo-fi pop or I don't want to say shoegaze,
It's
but like
it's original songs.
original songs. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of it's instrumental, some of it's song. It's like I'd say like Haunted House record meets Explosions in the Sky
Oh, weird.
meets like some like just like lo-fi pop and stuff. It's really interesting.
Okay.
So this particular record is like a field recording of someone doing a Halloween story, and it's actually narrated by Melissa LaMartina, who's actor or wife of Chris LaMartina, but she's in WNUF Halloween Special and out there Halloween Mega Tape, and she just directed another movie, which I'll be talking about a little bit later in the podcast. So she does the voiceover, and then there's like music and like soundscapes and stuff like that. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of this band. I hadn't listened to it. Like this record's currently not on streaming, but I think they have a collection of all their other EPs and stuff that came out, I guess, last year that you can listen to. And like,
Cool.
it's just it's kind of like during the Halloween season, it was like really the perfect soundtrack for it.
Cool.
Another record, which is it's really a compilation, but it came out this year. It's all old stuff, but it's I don't even know how you say. How do I even say it? Is that a P?
Piombo.
Piombo. Italian,
That's my guess.
yeah, we'll go with that. Italian crime soundtracks from the years of lead, 73 through 81. All year crime Italian stuff. Get like Cipernati and like Bacalov and like all the Bruno Nicolai and things.
Looks
like
amazing. It's crime. Because of the yellow, it looks giallo.
Well, it's all the stuff that came out post Giallo, which were all the
Okay.
Eurocrime and like cop and gangster movies and
Sick.
stuff like that. I mean, same composers and a lot of the same great fucking like music. Like this is a stellar release by Cam Sugar, which is a music library company. Like they did library music.
Oh, nice.
So it's like just a compilation of a bunch of like library cues by these great composers.
Mm-hmm.
They also did do a Giallo one that came out a few years ago that Leslie got me. I forget. I think it was called Para, which was like something fear. It's like all Giallo cues, which was really fucking sick.
Sick.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when the first track on here is Bruno Nicolai, they're not fucking around. Like Rizzo Orlani,
Mm-hmm.
like just outside of maybe Ennio Morricone because he never really did this kind of stuff, but all the other Italian composers were on this kind of shit.
Sick.
Another reissue. I'm just going by the records I actually have. Charles Bronson, Youth Attack.
Yeah.
One of the greatest records ever made.
Straight up.
Like spiritual top 10, probably official top 10. I was a fucking idiot when I sold my original copy of it. So shout out to Mark McCoy and Youth Attack for doing these reissues. I didn't get the crazy box set that you got, which
Mm-hmm.
is a great photo and like book about like is it just like a history book or like
Yeah. I mean, it's just a billion photos and it's amazing.
yeah, like just at the time it didn't make sense for me to get it, but like I was like I'm at least gonna get on vinyl. I think I got on like what color was it? It's like some weird pink red swirl. Oh, it looks fucking
Tight.
yeah. This is nice. Looks exactly like the copy I had. Includes the poster and like I don't know, still 45 RPM speed.
As it should be.
Yeah, because the record's like 8 minutes long,
Mm-hmm.
20 songs. I don't know. It's like owning this again, even though it's a reissue. There's like, I don't know. It's just like there's something magic about this record, and like it takes me back to like, it's like not nostalgia, but like it just reminds me that like a lot of bands just aren't that good.
True.
Especially like hardcore and grindcore and power violence and like that kind of stuff. Like there's just urgency to like this record to like because it was recorded on 8-track, like so it's like not like it's like a high tech record because like I think a lot of stuff with like new music comes out. I think maybe it's better recorded, but I also think the bands have a hard expectation to live up to.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like I've seen a few bands lately where like I love those records, but live it's not quite there. And it's not because they're not talented or they can't play the songs. It's just like because production is so sonically superior to what it's ever been.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a hard thing to live up to.
Oh, yeah. One of the things that's really great about the Charles Bronson stuff is that you can look at all the records that came before Youth Attack and see that they genuinely worked their way up to that LP.
Yeah.
And it's kind of special that like they really like were at the. You can tell that they were just like at the top of their game and then just broke up. It's so sick.
It's the way to actually do it because, like, you know, there's a lot of EPs and stuff, and some of those EPs are really good, and some
Really good.
and there's some really great comp tracks.
And
That
some
they
of it's
were,
really bad.
yeah, like some of, but you know, that's a band that was just figuring out as they're gonna win. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, they made it up. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, tell me another record that sounds like that.
nothing.
They made up like what they sound like. They made it up. You know, I mean, it's obviously influenced by other things, but like,
Yeah, like
you know, I don't know, a very special record, as you already said.
I mean, it's just like, and just the art design on it, like the cover, like
perfect,
just
perfect. Defined a genre straight up.
Yeah,
Right. Like how many bands like name themselves after some fucking actor? Like, Jesus Christ, there's still bands in Europe doing that to this day.
yeah.
You
But
know?
like, but the thing is, it's like, and because Mark McCoy's on Letterboxd, and like
Yeah.
he has an affinity actually for these movies. He watches
Yeah.
a lot of cult movie shit.
Oh
Like,
yeah, dude's on a shit.
so like the fact it's like, I don't know, man. I think it was the right actor for the right band, and it all makes sense.
Totally.
Like, you know, I mean, Charles Bronson just sounds fucking hard because like dude was fucking hard as shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus, like, the sound clips and, like, I mean, the ultimate sound, because it ends with the fucking sound clip from 10 to Midnight, which is, like, I'll get out. That's
Right.
the law. I'll be back. You'll hear from me. You and the whole fucking world. No, you won't. No, we won't.
Yeah, and that's the thing that where all the like the little kid like Euro like Charles Bronson copycat bands that name their band something like John Stamos. You know, that's the thing that they miss is like, well, Charles Bronson was actually hard.
Yeah, Charles Bronson, like, because like he had so many great dumb one-liners, and like, I don't know, man. I think it's like it goes back to Possession.
Mm-hmm.
Is that people take something that was like culturally like important, or like, well, I don't want to say culturally important, like it was like a very cult thing that was really good, and you're trying to like capture some aesthetic of it, but you don't have the craft for it, if that makes sense, or the actual fundamental understanding what you're making. I think there's a lot of people that it's sort of like Possession's like Persona. There's so many people trying to do that movie, but they don't have. They're not Zulowski. They're not Sam Neill. They're not Isabella Adjani. Like, and a lot of those bands is like you can name yourself after some fucking random fucking actor. There's like Don Knotts and Ava Goda and like, and I'm not trying to like shit talk like all that, but like this record and band works because it's a perfect pairing, and it's like also understanding who Charles Bronson was and what those movies are clearly. I guess I should talk about some of the other things. I talked about One Step Closer. Berthold City, that record. Great hardcore record. Where Did We Go Wrong? You sent it to me, which kind of hit the spot when I needed it.
A great record.
Which didn't make your list because you didn't have a copy.
Oh, I do have one. I do have one around.
Did you just forget to put it in?
I have so much stuff.
Metal record wise, Witch Vomit, Funeral Sanctum. I think it's the best Witch Vomit record.
Oh, cool. I haven't heard it.
It's got some Maiden like riffing in there mixed in with the death metal. Like I really enjoyed it. I forgot it came out this year because I think it came out pretty early.
Cool.
But it's pretty solid. I mean, I went back and listened to a lot of like stuff, and just like that one like caught me. It's like, yeah, this shit's great.
Hell yeah.
For hip hop records, you know, there was a lot that came out, and like there's a Freddie Gibbs record that I thought would be on this list, but it's just like I went back and listened to it today, and it's good, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I think a lot of the hip hop stuff it's not redundant. It's just like it's missing something. Because I think maybe it might be too routine or whatever. But the one that stuck out to me the most, and I think like I actually could have put up a couple records by Boldy James on here, but I think the best of the bunch was the one he did with I put Bloody James. I must be autocorrect, but it's Boldy James.
Yeah.
Fuck AI and it's autocorrecting there. Boldy James and Conductor Williams Across the Tracks.
Yeah, I love this record. I listen to this record a ton.
Yeah, this one I went back to a bunch of times. He also just did a record with Harry Fraud, which is pretty good. And I think there's some other ones in there. But, like, I feel like all the guys that are, like, all the hip-hop records, like, are dropping constantly. I think Boldy just has something there. And he's, like, the most unassuming because he's, like, laid back.
Yeah.
his ad libs are
But-
like Blockworth.
But
Like,
definitely, like, I think, you said he put out a number of records. There's some that I definitely don't like as much. The ones that are with the producers I like this Conductor Williams one, are the ones that
Yeah.
really hit. Whereas like some of the others don't hit, maybe because of the production.
yeah, like the one he did with Nicholas Craven a couple years back was really fucking good.
Cool.
And like I also think it's like when he gets a certain batch of beats, like he just fucking shines.
Yeah, he's sick.
So that, I mean, I think out of all those, that was my favorite. The Chat Pile record came out this year, Cool World, which, I mean, I don't understand the black metal logo aspect. We've talked about this, but
Yeah.
like for a noise rock, Jesus Lizard, fucking AmRep type band, or someone doing that in this day and age,
Yeah.
they do it well.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them at what was it, Lodge Room, another
Yeah.
great venue to actually see.
Totally.
There's 3 venues that I prefer to go see bands at. It's Knucklehead,
Yeah.
it's Gold Diggers, it's Lodge Room.
That's pretty much the theory. Yeah.
Lodge Room's the only one I don't mind driving to.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw him there, and they were fucking great. And he was just like making movie reference, because I guess he's a big movie guy. I know Teresa from Scream Screen did a screening with him, because where they live at, like Oklahoma or some shit.
Something like that.
Somewhere in the middle of fucking nowhere. But like, he was making movie references like during their set, so I was like, I can't hate this.
Yeah.
Record was, it's pretty good. Like, if you like AmRep, if you like Helmet, Unsane, like those kind of bands, the more traditional noise rock bands, I think you would dig it. Now, this is a record, this last like full length was one that came in late, and it was a recommendation off another record that I'm going to talk about in the EPs. It's a band called Bloom Drain, and the record's called It Didn't Have to Be This Way. And I put it on, I was like, holy shit, this is like a band channeling like Orchid, Page 99, like late 90s, early 2000s, like Screamo, or like, I think they're from Miami, Florida, which I guess is, I don't know where Gainesville is in relation to Miami. I don't have a map of Florida.
I don't think it's close.
No, it's not close, because I think Gainesville is more rednecky and out of the way. A little bit. I don't know.
It's college town.
It's college town, yeah. I mean, Florida's a weird place because it's like you got Disney, you got Miami, you got some college towns, and then you got like a bunch of fucking redneck areas. But Bloom Dream, I guess, is from Miami, but it also like reminds me a lot of like the Gainesville like emo violent stuff like Pelatica and like Combat Wounded Veteran, Reversal Man. So there's some of that in there. Starts with a fucking sound clip, which is very unheard of in this day and age for records, because that shit gets flagged immediately. Really hit the spot. Maybe a little bit of Locust in there, because I think there's some like not keyboard shit, but like there's some little noise things in there. And brand new band. I guess they had a couple EPs come out beforehand, which were more like definitely more of the post-hardcore stuff. But this pivot to like the Screamo shit was just like, I don't know. It's like, had I heard this record earlier, like I would listen the fuck out of it all year. Because like I had been going back to like the Orchid Chaos Is Me and like the EP collections and like the earlier Page 99 stuff a lot. So like scratch the itch that like I had, but it's like it's like there's this thing. It's like, man, I just wish there was another like a newer band doing this, and there was, and I just didn't find them until like the last month of the year. And the reason why I found this was from a EP you had sent me to check out by this band called Dime, which self-titled EP.
Their LP was in my stack somewhere with the Berthold City. Like some of the stuff I kind of put. I'm like, all right, there's just too many to talk about.
And plus, I was gonna end up talking about some of these anyway. But like Dime is like, I guess, how would you like? Oh, why am I blanking on the fucking?
I think when I first heard my thought Title Fight, but it's not that exactly.
No, it's more like it's heavier. It's like, God, Title Fight. I mean, had its heavy parts, but it was like definitely more. I don't want to say emo. That's not the right word. But like it's definitely heavier in that. And like I think the thing that really sold me is that there's a sound clip in this from Matt Foley, played by is it Matt Foley? No, what is his fucking name? Chris Farley's character from SNL, where he's like Matt Foley in a van down by the river. Like there's a fucking sound clip from that.
Was that the character's name?
Is it Matt Foley? I should look that up.
I don't think so. I know a guy named Matt Foley.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of the guy. What is that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up because yeah, it is Matt Foley. I was right. It was created by Bob Odenkirk, the character.
Oh, amazing.
For Chris Foley to play. Yeah. I guess because it's Chris Farley and then Matt Foley, where it's just
amazing. Yeah.
where it's just like I don't know, but lives
Yeah.
in a van down by the river, like one of the great SNL reoccurring bits. But they use a clip from it where it's like talking about like you're not going to make it in life because you're not going to mount the jack squat.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so good, and obviously later in the song they get to the live in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so stupid, but it takes me back to like the 90s where fucking bands would do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I miss sound clips and records because I always liked hearing something like, what the fuck is this?
Wait, that's the sound clip they used in Bloom Dream, was the van down by the river?
No, that was in the Dime song. The one in Bloom Dream was the fucking Sopranos at the beginning.
Oh, nice.
Which was another one like, did you ever think you amounted to anything? I was like, I never did. Like, I had seen the Sopranos in forever, but like,
Yeah.
but there's some other sound clips. There's one, I guess, talking about Blackwater, the fucking hire mercenaries for the government. How they're like, I mean, there's some political shit on that Bloom Dream one, but I don't know. The Dime record had the Matt Foley reference,
Right
and
on.
like that just sold the record for me. But it's like heavier, like I guess it's like I don't want to say emotional hardcore. It's not hardcore, but it's like.
It's emotional hardcore.
It's emotional hard. I have nothing better for it. Sorry, I'm going to do this to you, but like another favorite EP was the Double Life EP, Indifferent Stars.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I love this record. Like the last two songs. I mean, I know there's three, but like Indifferent Songs and War Inside. Oh, is it actually called War Inside My Head? Or am I making up the wrong title?
It's called Dead Body.
Dead Body. Thank you. Sorry, I just know that hook a lot because I listen a lot. But like. I don't know. The EP is fucking great. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things you've done, and I'm looking forward for the next EP that I know you're currently working on with a billion other music things, including the record we did, which I guess will come out at some point next year, 2025 drop. Another EP was a split EP that you sent me, and it was another itch that I didn't know I need scratch, which is fucking straight edge metalcore.
Hell yeah.
That Balamora and Since My Beloved 6-packs etched in blood split. I think Since My Beloved just broke up this year, so they don't exist. But Balamora, or however you say it, I think they're from Connecticut or something like that.
Okay.
They've been playing the hardcore festival scene and all that, and like, dude, they're fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
Just like bringing back to like putting the metal in metalcore.
Yeah.
Blast beats.
Just squawking,
doing the highs and the lows. Oh, one of the guitar players was wearing Jinkos and a Cradle of Filth shirt.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like, all right, sold. And the last thing is just a single song by this band called I Am the Coffin. Definitely a little indie, little banger. Indie rock. I don't know. Leslie had sent this to me at some point this year, and just it's such a fucking catchy little song.
Cool.
That like it got stuck in my head, and like I hadn't listened to it a while, but when I was going back, I was like, oh, this fucking song. I went back and like it's like it's a 2-minute little ripper.
Nice.
It's easy to go back and listen to a bunch of things. So that's my singles and EPs. Before I get into the voice shit, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man, I think that's everything. I talked way too much.
All right.
I didn't think I did, but it turns out I liked a lot of stuff this year. So
that's the thing. Like, and this is gonna be also with me talking about void shit. Like, in my head at a certain point, I thought like this year was not as good as last year. Like, there's big things that happen, but no, I think attendance wise, like this year's gonna actually be higher than last year, and I was like, really? But then, like, I think it was because, like, I had a big string of sellouts a lot. And, like, the sellouts ended up being spaced out more. And then, like, they all bulk of them happen at the end of the year. Where,
it's been fucking packed every time.
Yeah, it's just like, this September I sold out every screening. November, sold out a good grip. December, like, which, getting ready to wrap up. I mean, it sold out Lady Terminator.
Yeah.
And that was a fucking blast to watch with the audience.
But I bet that was fun.
Oh, it fucking killed. That movie is so perfect. Like, it just played so, like, the Terminator ripoff parts killed. Like, all the weird Indonesian black magic folk horror stuff just played well.
Sweet.
There's a guy named Snake in the movie with a mullet that became everyone's favorite character. And apparently that guy's still around. Like, someone was sending me, like, he does, like, personal appearances in Indonesia. Still looks the same. Still has
amazing.
a fucking mullet. Like, there's a minute where he's driving like some like military vehicle. He's like, fucking A.
Hell
And
yeah.
just like the reaction. I mean, they also like do dialogue from Predator in the movie.
Jesus.
But there's another character who's like, come with me if you want to live. But like they do it like that, like just really quickly, just kind of just badly dubbed in. It's fucking incredible. But you know, I think I was just down on myself, and I think it was just more my mental state than anything. Because like this year was actually a very good year for The Void.
Yeah.
I did lots of cool shit happen. And, you know, started the year with January Giallo and got to do not one, but 2 Q&As with Sergio Martino. And that's shit like that. If I go back and look at Jim in his early 20s or mid 20s or even early 30s, I would never think that would ever happen.
Yeah, it is wild.
It's just wild. But like, there's a lot of cool shit that happened. I'm just going to mention some, like, you know, got to do The Chase with Adam Rifkin. Got the intro 2 movies with you this year. We did Bloodletting and Teen Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And we're probably, when the Cinematheque does the podcast, the Friend of the Fest thing, you're going to pick the movie for that one.
Oh, word.
As long as I know when it actually is, because it seems like it moves around.
Yeah.
But there's tons of great things and great audiences. You know, I got to do Vice Squad, Wings Hauser, and Gary Swanson. That's a kind of a bucket list screening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, For Sale by Exorcist, which was the feature film debut of Melissa LaMartina, who's, you know, acted in a lot of Chris's movies and produced stuff with him and all that. So it was really cool to do that at Midsummer Scream. And like, you know, it was just kind of nice because I helped them. Like, they were trying to figure out where they want to play it at. I was like, play it at a place where you're gonna have the biggest audience, and that's gonna connect with the film because it's set on Halloween and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really happy for them. Doing The Howling, my all-time favorite werewolf movie with Joe Dante and Belinda Blasky. Starry Eyes, you know, doing a Q&A with a bunch of my friends.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Kevin's one of my best friends. Like, Travis is one of my great friends, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was nice. I rarely get to do Q&As like that.
Yeah.
And just kind of, like, just have fun with it. Oh, you know, RoboCop with William Sandell, who's definitely one of my friends. I see him, like, mostly around Midsummer Screen and stuff. So I hadn't done a Q&A with him for years. So I was, like, happy. And, like, him and Robert Gould had great fucking stories about RoboCop.
Hell yeah.
Incredible stories. They talk about, like, yeah, Paul Verhoeven thought we were all stupid because we were American. But then he grew to, like, you know, respect us. Like, it was really cool. And then, like, the last Q&A I did for the year was with Gail Ann Hurd, producer of Terminator, fucking all those earlier James Cameron movies. She worked for Roger Corman. She produces The Walking Dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, I never thought I'd do that.
Yeah.
And she was great. And she's like, all right, let's do this again. Let's do Tremors next year for the anniversary.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah,
So,
she was great.
yeah, so, like, you know, it's like, I don't know, man. I think I just was too down on myself this year. And I want to correct course for that. Because, you know, it's just kind of wild to think that, like, I get to do this shit sometimes. And then it's just like, oh, I'm depressed, I'm bugged. And it's like, you know, that's a human emotion. Everyone has those moments. But it's just like, you know, I was letting it color, like, you know, what I was doing just didn't matter. And that's not true. Like, you know, because ultimately I do matter. But what really matters are the movies and the audiences watching the movies. And, like, I had lots of great audiences for movies. And, like, you know, when people would come out after a movie, it's like, this is one of the best things I've seen. This is my new favorite movie. Or, like, you know, the fact I could show something like The Howling and people see, like, hey, I'm playing Alfredo Garcia the following week.
Yeah.
People are like, shit, I want to come back for that. So there was a lot of that. You know, some of my favorite series I did the year. I think maybe, like, some of the series I felt like because I had to, like, cut and paste and move things around, which always happens every year. We talk about this, but, like, the ones that, like, you know, I set together and they landed as is, you know, Void is Paranoid was one of my favorite ones, you know, Ninth Configuration, Clued, Manchurian Candidate, fucking
bangers.
Marathon, man. Why was I blanking on that? The Hong Kong summer stuff I did was really, really great, starting with the fucking Run and Kill, doing Bullet in the Head over the Egyptian. Yeah, that was great. The Art House of Horrors one, which was like, you know, I had set out, it's like, I want to do Repulsion. I want to do The Haunting. I want to do Kieran Echo. And why am I blank? Oh yeah, Diabolique, and like
Mhm.
it turned out great. And like actually, Robotic Winter ended up being really like solid. Got the
Yeah.
do something, show the new Scooter McRae film and show two of the best robot movies ever made, and closing the year with one of the best Wes Craven movie was just called that, which is fucking Deadly Friend.
Totally.
Like non-void stuff, I got to do the Q&A with Brett Morgan from Montage of Heck, which like honestly at the time that I ended up doing that, I really needed that.
Yeah.
Because like it was good to do a Q&A just kind of out of my spectrum.
Yeah.
And like, just hold my own and feel confident and comfortable in doing it.
Yeah.
And just like, because I think there's a period where like I was just, I don't know why I was unsure. But you get in your own head and like
get out of your little box a little bit, get away from your own crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I did it twice this year. I did also that for the Moby documentary.
Yeah, sick.
But again,
Mm-hmm.
at what point would I ever think like oh, I'm gonna meet Moby or do a Q&A with Moby? Yeah. Like that's fucking insane. So, but ultimately, what 2024 was about was a journey of just turning my life around, just getting my shit together. And I mean, I do want to thank you a lot because like doing these podcasts do help even when we spread them out and complain about actually doing them.
Cool.
Both of us, you act like you don't, but once we actually start recording, it's fine. But I'm just going to close here with just a little gratitude. And I want to thank everyone that supported Cinematic Void this year, whether you came to a screening, whether you listened to the podcast, whether you watched an episode of the Cinemadness movie, bought merch, or just reposted something. It meant a lot. And, I guess sometimes you just want to have a purpose. And I guess my purpose is just to introduce people to fucking crazy, stupid, but awesome movies. Not all of them are crazy and stupid. Some are just great fucking movies. And I don't know. So that's going to wrap up this final podcast for 2024 on the Cinematic Void podcast. 2025, we're going to be turning 5 years old for podcast. Can you believe we've been doing this shit for almost 5 years?
I'm gonna kill myself. That's crazy. That's a really long. That's crazy.
Yeah. And also coming up, this is episode 98. We're gonna be closing in on number 100.
Yeah. It did take a whole 5 years to get to number 100. That was pretty funny.
But here's the thing about that. I think there's a lot of podcasts that burned 100 real quick, but I think we earned it. And when we actually do the 100th episode, we'll actually have something to say about it.
That's right. We're gonna record it while we're bungee jumping. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be great.
And that will be the last podcast. Because we will not survive bungee jumping. I don't think. Maybe we will. I don't know. Do you actually want to bungee jump?
I would never in my life do that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Jesus Christ. Next thing you're gonna be like, was just jump out of a plane, free dive or whatever they fucking call it.
We're gonna go hunting. We're going hunting, and we'll have we'll have big microphone rigs hooked to us with the so it's like this. So as we're walking through the woods, it's like this.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Oh God. Yeah. Perfect for me to go hunting. I'm gonna go shoot carrots.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm don't worry, I'm brainstorming ideas for the 100th episode. We'll have something good for you.
Yeah.
We may or may not be hunting. We may or not be wrestling.
Wrestling, Jesus Christ.
With microphones hooked to us while we're wrestling.
Are we just going to cut wrestling promos? That's it?
That would be sick.
We'll have Nikolai referee. Actually, Nikolai can be like Mean Gene Okerlund. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Nikolai. That's my bad wrestling promo. But anyway, we have talked way too much about fucking records and Blu-rays and all the fucking media we consume. Anyway, we'll see you in 2025, but until then,
see you in the void.